guys, and welcome to the very first event of day 2 of Camp YA. I'm so excited to be here and so excited to introduce the first panel. We have an entire day filled with panels and workshops and little videos for you guys. But first and foremost, I want to welcome you to Glitter Glue and You. And here to talk to us, I have Miriam from Open Eyes. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. From World. Hey, how you doing?
Hi. I'm good, thanks.
I've got Allison, who's Miss Bibliofancy.
Hi.
How you doing? And Kamara from Decentrate Lit. Hey. Welcome, guys. I'm so happy for you guys all to be here. We're all over the world right now because, Kamara, you're in Jamaica, right?
I'm in Jamaica.
Fantastic. So first and foremost, for everyone who doesn't know you guys, I'd like you to introduce yourselves. Tell a bit about your shop, what you do, and yeah, Miriam, want to start us off?
Yes. My name's Miriam. I have a shop called and I make bookish jewelry. It's mainly costume jewelry based on books that I read or that you guys like. So yeah, that's basically what I do.
Fantastic. Abby? Tell us about you.
Hi, I'm Abby. I run a shop called Paper and Word, and I make book sleeves for paperbacks, hardbacks, and for e-readers as well.
Fantastic. I've seen a couple of yours. I definitely need them.
Thank you.
And same goes for Allison, because can you tell us a bit about yours?
Hi, okay, I run a small shop called Bibliofancy Bookish Things. I also make book sleeves, and I've started making bookmarks, and I have other bookish things in the works that are supposed to be coming out soon.
Oh, exciting. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a premiere here.
There's a slide I will move to my left soon, and then you'll see something else that I'm working on. It's right behind me.
Very cool. Ooh, very exciting. And Kamara.
Hey, my name
Tell
is
us more about
Kamara.
yourself.
I run Decentrate Lit, which is a book subscription box. And we are branching into book subscriptions for young adults. I've recently opened a shop where we have bookmarks, we have tote bags, and I'll be expanding on that as well.
Fantastic. Yeah, it like the skill that goes into all of the things that you guys make is phenomenal. Like I wouldn't be able to do half the things you guys do. But can you tell me a bit how you started, where you got the ideas from? Maybe we should just start in the same way that we've been going. So Miriam, Abby, Allison, and Kamara. Is that good?
Yeah. Mine actually started in a really strange way. I wanted to buy some mortal instrument jewelry from America. So I contacted a seller, and she said the shipping would cost more than the actual piece of jewelry. And then she said that she would teach me how to make it myself. So then we just became friends, and she taught me on Skype. And that's how I started it. It was just a hobby and to make jewelry for myself, and then it somehow did well. And that's literally it. Someone taught me just because I wanted to shop, but she didn't want me to spend a lot on the shipping. So it was quite cool.
It's very cool.
I'm a bit lucky.
That's very cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Abby?
I suppose I've always kind of made things, and I've always tried to think, this could be the thing that I'll make, and I'll turn this into a business, and life will be amazing, and that never happened. But then book sleeves kind of happened by accident. I was looking for one when I got a new job because I was taking books with me everywhere, but on the train for sort of a few hours every day, they were really getting destroyed in my bag. I started looking for book sleeve sellers, and there was a couple in the UK at the time, but it wasn't really the sort of thing that I was after. They were quite fantasy, small space. I started making my own, and then made some for some friends, and then more, and it turned into a shop, and snowballed ever since, really.
Very cool.
Cool.
What you, Allison?
My origin story. It's kind of similar to Miriam's. I'm also a bookstagrammer, and obviously you start seeing all the merch. You want everything, but because I'm also in Jamaica, you end up paying for the product, and then you have to pay for the shipping. So technically, you pay for it like almost 2.5 times. So I decided close to Christmas last year, I was gonna try and make it myself. Figured, hey, why not make for other people? And I asked Kimara and some of my friends to test them out for me. She was one of my first testers. And then they gave
Amazing.
me feedback and I just started making them. And then I just got ideas for, hey, other things to go with it because I want all the stuff. So let me try and make all the stuff that I want.
Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic. That you, like, if you can't find it and you just start with things that you really want, then that's fantastic. You can do that.
Yeah.
And Kamara, you have a subscription box, right? Or did you start putting that together, or?
How did I start? I think a part of it was because we're in the Caribbean, choices are very limited. So we don't have those huge release date events. We don't have pub days on Tuesdays or Thursdays. So it was always a challenge getting books in the country. And I think I was a little bit more cautious about the type of books that I was reading and the type of books that I wanted to share. Decentered Lit focuses on marginalized voices. So this can include BIPOC or queer voices, disabled voices as well. So I just wanted to do something that gave these stories an opportunity to be centered. And that's what Decentered Lit is about.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Just so inspiring how you guys have all done all of this. You talked a bit about your ideas as well. Where do you guys get your ideas from for all the products that you make?
I don't really know.
Start now?
Come into my head. I know that sounds really weird. That's not helpful at all, but it happens sometimes. I might be watching something, or someone will say something to me, and then I usually just jot it down in my phone, and then I try and make it, and usually the first time always goes wrong. Like always goes wrong, and then eventually after a few times it gets better. But yeah, it's usually it could be a small idea, like a quote that I like, and then try and find a pendant that works with it. That's usually how it was with jewelry, I think.
Fair enough. Abby?
I think for me, it's I'm trying much harder at the moment to plan a bit more ahead. I've always been very much the month that things are being released, I work non-stop throughout that month to try and get it all done last minute. But I'm trying at the moment to plan a bit further ahead, and I think definitely inspired by the seasons and sort of seasonal change. So I like to keep the designs that I'm sharing that they sort of fit with the season. I think collections wise, it's usually one fabric that starts that off. So I'll fall in love with a fabric and then try and curate a few others to fit with that so that it feels more like a collection. And like I said, sometimes that's really obvious, you know, like autumn would be really obvious, or winter, Christmas is a bit more obvious, but it's kind of those in the middle months that I'm just like, so just sort of up as I go. But it's usually like one fabric will sort of spark it off, and it might be like a geometric collection or something like that.
Fantastic. Do you have a similar way, Alison?
It's a bit similar. I can just get ideas out of nowhere. Like I'll just see something, even like a street sign, and I'll go, oh, that would look really cool on a bookmark. And my dad does woodworking, so I'll be in his like little area, and I go, I could use that for something. Put that aside for myself. For the sleeves, it really depends. It could be just walking to the fabric store, and I go, those three look really good together, so that could be a thing. I was inspired. My first collection was the Patsy collection, which was inspired by the cover of Nicole Dennis Benn's book Patsy. So it could really just come from anything.
And you too. Sorry, I'll come back to you in a moment, Kamara, as well. Did you learn how to sew like young, or did you just learn?
Oh, for me,
Elsa and Abby?
My mom runs a garment factory, and I also, in Jamaica, I did needlework up until ninth grade. You have to do clothing and textiles in school. So I had basic sewing skills, but I refreshed by watching YouTube videos.
Fair enough. Abby?
Do you know what? I'm not even sure how. Oh, I know. It was when I got married. We had so we had to do everything ourselves. We made everything ourselves. We got everything secondhand, and all of the decorations. Like if I wanted it to look nice, I had to make it. So I bought a sewing machine from like a flea market, and I think it was £2, and it was really crap, and I was really crap. But the more I did it, the more I learned, and then like Alison said, I sort of topped up that skill through watching new videos.
Fantastic. I know I've tried to learn how to sew. At some point, I may suck to, but I definitely needed my mother to help me because I am not good.
I think that's better than I could do.
Kamara, where do you get your ideas from for your boxes?
I always let the books lead. So the way I curate is I read the books first, and as I'm reading, I make little notes about references to teas or scents or cities, towns, stuff like that. So it always pulls directly from the book. And what I try to do is if it's a culture that I am not familiar with or I have no space curating for, I will bring in someone from that culture. So when I did the box for Gods of Jade and Shadow, which is inspired by Jazz Age Mexican culture, I actually brought in the designer of the book cover, and she did our tote bags for us.
Wow.
It's fit the book, and it's a lot of collaborative work as well.
That box was so
fantastic. Yeah. So with the fact that you guys said that you were planning a bit more, and Abby, you said that you were working basically nonstop on it. How do you guys balance your like personal life with like your shops? Do you have any other jobs? How do you manage it? Miriam, do you want to start us off?
Yeah. When I first started, because I used to do part-time work on the side, I used to be up during the night, and a lot of the time I told myself that I worked better at night. I don't know, your brain just comes alive when you're about to go to sleep, and then all the ideas come, and then it just seems to make sense to stay awake. But since COVID, I've lost my job, so I've changed it around by getting up early, which I actually find more productive because I'm less tired. Whereas when I used to be up at night, I was doing a lot, but I was knackered by morning, and then I had to go to work. And then alongside the jewelry, sometimes I do boxes, not often anymore because, like Kamara said, it's so much work. So I actually applaud everyone that does boxes. It's not how people think, what people think it is. It's not. It's so much time. You have to communicate with other people as well. So it's not just you. Like with my jewelry, I just have to worry about myself and get things done. But with boxes, it's harder. So try and take the weekends off now. I've just kind of forced it so that I still go out and enjoy myself a little bit or do something nice, even if it's at home. I can't go out. So yeah, I think it's important to have days off Instagram as well. I found recently.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, definitely days off Instagram. I wish I could. I'm a social media manager, so I literally live on social
Oh my
media.
god.
And Abby, how do you work on it?
I don't know. I think I'm probably not a good person to ask about this at the moment. Up until March, I had a full-time job. So that was about 18 months of running the business, maybe just less, on top of a full-time job. So it was all the time. I didn't have time off. I'd get up at 5 a.m, go to my normal job. I'd be home maybe 6 o'clock, and then I'd work all evening whilst my husband made tea, and then I'd do the same at the weekend. Every now and again, I'd squeeze time out and see people and do things, but I really struggle with sort of separating work and personal life. We made the decision that it made a lot more sense for me to be full-time paper and word. So that was planned for March, and I think I finished 2 weeks after lockdown started. That was really, really strange, not even getting to say goodbye to people I worked with. I literally just closed my laptop one day and that was it. And yeah, I think it's probably felt stranger because of everything that's been going on. So you've not got that same work and personal time separation anymore because you're not going out to see people and doing things. And, I like to keep busy. So busy for me has meant either working paper and word non-stop, or we've got a lot of house things on that again have been affected by COVID, but I've been decorating, I've been pulling the garden apart. I'm not very good at sitting still. But I'd say that I do a number of hours paper and word every day. And it's either a full day or half, or sometimes it'll be in the middle of the night, like Mariam said, and I'll be like, oh my God, I need to do this. I'm probably not a good person to ask about that at the moment, but it's definitely something I'm working on. I'm trying to separate it. I'm trying to have evenings and give myself weekend time and not feel guilty about it. But, I'm blaming it on COVID at the moment. That's what's caused it. That's why I'm being weird.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's definitely affected all of us in that regard. And Alison, how are you finding it?
It's definitely taught me to be a lot more organized. I have to have everything properly structured. I know what days I'm gonna sew. I know what days I'm going to make sure this has to be done by. Mine are mostly order based. So sometimes I'll have a week or two where I don't really have much to do. So I'll use that time to make sure I'm organizing something that's coming up. So I have set postage dates. I tell everybody ahead of time, you're going to get it on this day, expect it by this time. And that makes the process flow a lot easier. So, and I also work a full-time job. So I'm at work till about 5 every day. And then I get home, I make sure I take an hour and a half to myself before I start and then work starts again.
Man, guys, I applaud you all for having a job next to it, or all the stuff that you guys are doing. And Kamara, how are you managing?
I'll put myself in the same category as Abby. I actually have a 9-to-5 as a researcher, so that work can get pretty intense. And afterwards, I think what has kept me grounded is the news. So after work, I will come home, and then if nothing else, I will devote time, an hour, 30 minutes to just watching the news. But because we are a quarterly box, I feel like I'm constantly being curious. I'm constantly having to come up with ideas, chatting with publishers, authors, it's nonstop, and I'm not doing the best job at balancing. But it works. I occasionally feel overwhelmed, but for the most part, I think I have managed to balance pretty well.
Well then, that's amazing. I've tried to get a small shop on the side, but I can definitely not manage like you guys have been doing. Again, I said I applaud you all. So, Alison, you said a little bit like you make to order. Where do you guys all stand on having stock in your shop or making to order? Amir?
I started out having stock, but it doesn't seem to work. I don't really like doing that with jewelry. And maybe the shop is still small. Keeping stock back becomes a bit of a problem in the long run. But then made to order can come with problems of its own because customers think that I have everything in like a cupboard and I just have to put it in an envelope, and I don't. I have to make it, and I try and be a bit particular with glue. I don't like sending it out if it's not fully curated because otherwise it can come apart. So that can become a bit of a problem. But yeah, I do try and explain if it's made to order, then it might take a little bit longer than usual. But if I have something already in stock, then I will usually just send it out straight. There's not usually a problem. I live really close to the post office, so I just run back and forth. Too much of a
Fair enough. Abby?
I've dabbled in both. I think I can totally see the benefits of things that are made to order. And I think that perhaps, you know, personally, maybe I might even sell more if I'm made to order. But that pressure of somebody's paid for something that doesn't exist yet really stresses me out. So I found that I would be, you know, even if I was working the same amount of hours, I would be so much more stressed knowing that somebody was waiting for something than if I'd made it to, you know, if I'd pre-made it. So I now keep everything in stock. I don't do pre-orders for things. I make as many as I can throughout a month and then put them all in the shop. I tend to keep a few back in case I have any stock issues, which will then go into the store a couple of days after the collection's gone live. But the only thing I suppose that differs to that is recently I've started a secret society, which is a quarterly kind of membership, and there's a small box that's part of that every quarter. So I suppose that's kind of a pre-order sort of thing, but it doesn't quite feel the same pressure because it's something that I'm doing anyway. But I much prefer to have stock in, even though I think it's possibly to my detriment because there's nothing left at the moment.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that you also, if you have a lot of stock, like you don't have a lot of space in your home, or do you have like an extra like place where you store everything?
It completely devours my house. I mostly work in the dining room, which is the room I'm sat in now. So the table that, you know, you guys are perched on actually has a pretend table on top of it to make it even bigger so I can fit more fabric on it. And I've got, I mean, looking around this room, I can't show you because spoilers, but I've got stacks and stacks of fabric, like half-made sleeves, some of the stuff for the Secret Society box. I've got the table covered. I've got foam reels in the hallway. I've got stuff in my bedroom, in the spare room, under the sofa. Entire back bedroom we've had to dismantle. So we've taken the bed down, we've taken the furniture out. It's now just got shelves in that have got stock on, or packaging or something like that. The only thing that we are doing though, which again, this is supposed to sort of fall into sync with me doing this full time, is we have quite a big garage. So that's being converted from next month, and that's going to be like Paper and Words studio. I'll have a dedicated space in there to be able to actually put things away and close the door and sort of leave work So I'm looking forward to that.
Did you say sorry, Alison?
I was saying, when you have it set up, I would love a tour so badly. That sounds so awesome.
Yes. That's like our Glare Glue and You part 2. Where we just to see all of you guys' places.
Yeah.
Alison, do you always make to order, or have you ever had just stock in as well?
Usually when I start getting fabrics, I'll try to make 1 or 2 in different sizes of that fabric to help advertise it. Because I'm still pretty small, and the Jamaican market is also it's quite small. It's starting to grow a little bit, but I never wanted to get stuck with things that it would just sit there and would not move. Because I'm not really thought you're having those days where you're not seeing what you're doing, seeing like a stack of stock that's not moving is not going to help with my motivation. It's like, why is nobody buying this? Did I make the wrong choice? It makes me question myself. So I have found that made to order works a little bit better for me. But things with like my bookmarks, I prefer to have stock set aside because then I can just ship those out pretty quickly. It's like, oh, you want a bookmark bundle? You can have it by tomorrow because I have it ready. But for the book sleeves, I prefer to have those made to order. It works better for me.
Makes sense, and as long as like your customers are aware that they gotta wait, then I imagine it would be all good.
I have it set up where it says you need to know this, wait this amount of time. These are the postage days, and everybody's been pretty understanding because I think also people like the idea of having it. Well, my customers so far like the idea of saying I've made it for you.
Yeah.
It adds to it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And Kimura, I think I imagine with your box, you would have to have like a separate place to store everything, or
Okay, so when I started with 12 customers, which was fine for my small apartment, but I'm trying to get to 2,500, which is not working out so well. Now I have like an open floor plan, and it's just me and boxes, and I have books in my car, and it's chaotic right now. But what I do is we have a subscription store, is quarterly, so that allows me time to order and plan and print and get things out without really needing to store them. But for the shop, I also do things to order. So that allows me to not necessarily too much storage space unless it's in the packing process. So in the months when I pack and I ship, I have books, I have boxes, I have all the tokens in my tiny little apartment, and I can't walk, and Kat has no place to walk either. So I was actually looking into getting some warehouse space. So Alison, you and I can talk about getting some warehouse space.
Ready.
There you go. What is the coolest thing that your shop has allowed you to do, Miriam?
I've had some really cool things, but I just never really remember them when I need to. Coolest thing, working with publishers was one of the coolest things. I never thought I'd ever be able to do that because it really did start as a hobby, and then I go to events and see people wearing things that I've made, or people at the event wearing things that I've made, and I was a bit strange to some of them. I used to go and say, "Oh, I made that," and point here, and they're just looking at me like, "What?" That was cool. What else is cool? I've sold a piece to every continent now. Africa was the last, so that was pretty cool for me. I haven't got none of the polls, but everywhere else got something.
Very cool. And Abby?
I think for me, probably the coolest thing is it's allowed me to decide what to do with my life. It's let me become self-employed, and I have although I mentioned before, there's not much work-life balance could be, and I'm going to get better at that, and it will allow me to be able to make choices that work really well for me and for my family. I mentioned before, actually I don't know whether I did mention before, I think I might, but we've got a baby due in September, and it means that, thank you, but it means that I can work around that, and I don't have to stress about going back to work or what hours I'm going to work or finding childcare. I can be a lot more flexible with that, and I think that's a massive thing for me.
Yeah, I would imagine that's amazing to be able to do, and just stay home with your kid. Yeah, I wish I hope that at some point, if I have a kid, I'd be able to do that as well. That sounds like the dream. And Alison, what's the coolest thing that your shop has allowed you to do?
There's two standout moments for me. The first one was when I got to do book sleeves for Kimara's box. It was stressful.
Amazing.
So excited. And they actually turned out pretty well. I have one here. I keep mine. It's right here.
Yes. So. Oh wow.
Oh, fine.
You have yours too. That was really cool. I was really grateful for that opportunity. The second biggest thing was actually my favorite collection so far, the Patsy collection. Like I said, just based on the book Patsy by Nicole Dennis Benn. And she came to Jamaica to do a book event in Kingston. And so obviously I went, and I got to see, I saw like 5 or 6 people who had ordered my sleeves for that event. And then Nicole Dennis Benn got one, and she was like, look what I got. Look at my Patsy sleeve. And I was like, Mom, I've made it. Like, so those are my 2 standout moments.
Amazing, yeah. Yeah, I mean, for Miriam, you as well, and Alison, like, if you see your things, or Abby, see things, basically, you're just coming there and you see your customers with your things, and they're so happy with it. I imagine that's just the greatest feeling ever.
Yes,
definitely.
Amazing. And Kimara, what's the coolest thing that you've done with your job?
Well, one thing Decentrate does is whenever we curate, we actually ask the author of the quarter to choose a token that they think best represents the work. So I get the opportunity to actually work with authors to have them choose something for the box. And there's usually a story around it, and I enjoy sharing those stories with our customers. And I've also been extremely fortunate to build community. I refer to Decentrate as community or family, and because we're so small, I think I know most of my customers. So when I'm curating, if I know that someone prefers tea over coffee, I can just drop tea in their box versus giving everyone coffee they want to enjoy. So it's just like these little moments where I'm allowed to feel like I'm interacting with friends versus subscribers or customers.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds amazing that you like tailor it to the person. So that question was actually from Steph, so thank you, Steph, for that. I've got another question from Charlotte. It says, for the future, is there anything that you'd like to do with your shop? Dreams, aspirations, or anything that you'd like to make that you haven't done yet? Miriam?
I would like to open a pop-up shop. It's been something that I've been talking about for years. And in London, there are a lot of opportunities to do it, but it's really expensive. But I'd love to do it at least once, even if it's for a short period of time. What else would I like to do? I think I'd like Abby. I'd like it to be my only business. I like working for myself. I think a lot of people think that small businesses wake up whenever they want, and it's really not true. We have to be way more organized because we don't have managers or supervisors or people that we can be like, can you deal with this email? I don't really want to deal with it today. It's just up to you to do everything. And going to, I mean, some of us have help, but like going to the post office. You need to plan out when you're going to go, making sure you don't forget orders and have everything, because I think we all ship into it's a little different, especially now with COVID. It made it really hard for us to ship far away. But yeah, I think having a pop-up shop and just becoming self-employed was the dream, really.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, maybe you can like get together with some other creators and get a shop together. Yeah.
Cool.
And Abby, it's something that you
I
still want
think,
to do.
like Mariam said, having a physical store or a physical presence somewhere would be amazing. That was part of the original plan for this year, was that I was going to start looking to just get my products into a couple of shops, just a couple of independent places, just so I can sort of walk in and be like, oh, I made that. So that would be amazing. And hopefully that will be something that I get to do soon. I think long term, I mean, my husband is doing more and more with paper and word in his spare time. He has a full-time job, so he's sort of doing it like I was a year ago. And I think it'd be amazing if he could sort of officially become a bit more part of paper and word. And yeah, I think, you know, when it comes to retiring, if I can retire from my bookshop that I've worked in for years and curated, and then that would be, you know, the absolute dream. Just seeing people every day talking about books and bookish things would be amazing.
Amazing. And do you want to expand beyond book sleeves?
Yeah, I mean, I've slowly started to do that anyway. So we do have a new product that's kind of been hinted at, but that's launching this month, the end of this month. And then I've got the membership that I mentioned before as well. And I think maybe I might expand a little bit further than that, but it's time. It takes a long time to make them, and I need to sleep sometimes.
Amazing, yeah. And Alison, do you think you'll get a shop together with Kamara and just have an actual physical shop there?
Ooh, rent is high, you know. I don't know. I haven't thought about a physical shop space yet. What I would really like to do is like up my goal for the rest of the year and going into next year is to up my branding, and to also, I'm trying to make sure that I have a proper website, sort out payment issues as well. I'm taking it step by step. I'm not sure. I've toyed with the idea, but people have approached me with being able to sell my things, but they want to do it on like consignment, which I'm not 100% sold on yet. So I'm just going steady with what I'm doing, but definitely working on branding. And I have other ideas that I want to flesh out, because I want to have bookish things, but I also want to look at different things for like decor and things like that. So I want to make sure that that is getting set.
Yeah. I mean, I know that definitely whenever I have my own apartment, I am going to have prints up and all bookish things basically surrounding me in my house. So there's many different things that you could do.
Yeah.
For sure, definitely. And Kamara, you want to do bigger boxes, more people, more international?
I think the goal for me is, well, when I started Decentered Lit, a part of it was I saw a lot of exclusive editions, but not for BIPOC authors. So my goal is to get Decentered Lit to the point where we can do exclusive covers for authors, and then I can retire. But
no, that's when the fun starts.
I just want to do something to raise more visibility for BIPOC authors, and that includes getting exclusive covers. So more orders to get to exclusive covers. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, you hear it, guys, out there. You definitely should be ordering from these four, and just helping them get their dreams sorted. Yeah, because you say like you all ship internationally, right? Fantastic. Amazing. Especially right now with everything that's going on, the fact that that's possible is amazing. Okay, so I've got a question from Stevie, who's asking, what surprised you about starting your own shop? Something that you didn't know before and it really surprised you, right?
What surprised me? I think I never thought I'd sell internationally, so there's a lot of paperwork that you have to do when you're thinking about international shipping and time, and I'm not sure what I thought when I was sending abroad, whether it would get there really quickly, but some places were quicker than I thought they would be. And then some take a long time because things get stuck in their customs. Yeah, I think not been any big surprises because I started off as a hobby, so it went really slow for me. I kind of learned as I was going along, and I'm still learning now, so there was nothing. Sometimes with orders, not having tracking can be quite scary because, like Abby said, when customers order things made to order, if they haven't purchased tracking, once it's gone, I have no idea where it is, and I can't physically find out. I mean, me and Melissa ordered something, and it disappeared, and then luckily we got it back. But usually it's quite scary when it's gone. There's no tracking because I literally have no clue where it is. But that's pretty much it, I think, for me.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess that would be something that initially you don't really think about.
Yeah.
Because obviously you're trying to do it for the country you're in, and then later on you become bigger and you can actually get to do it, which is cool. But then there's a lot of things to consider. Fair enough. And Abby, any surprises for you?
I think there's been sort of personal surprises in that I have really surprised myself at how motivated I feel all the time to do it. I kind of had a string of crappy jobs before, and it was constantly that feeling of, oh, it's Monday, I have to go to work, and just waiting clock off again. And it surprised me at how I'm so excited to do paper and word every day, and I want to talk about it all the time, and I want to show people what I'm doing, and I haven't got bored of it, and I think sometimes I get tired, and I could be sat there at 10 o'clock at night sewing, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what am I doing? But then I'll go to bed and I'll wake up and I'll be like, yes, I'm going to get doing it again. I'm so excited. And I think that's been an amazing surprise. But I think other than that, and it probably sounds really cheesy, but every day I feel surprised that I get to do this, and that people buy my things and people care what I'm saying on social media, and like Mariam said, that we ship all over the world, and that people in countries that I've never been to, that aren't my time zone, aren't my language, want my stuff. I find that absolutely mind-blowing.
I mean, that sounds amazing. Alison, any surprises for you?
Mine is similar to Abby's and Miriam's. I'm still surprised sometimes that we have this myth in Jamaica that Jamaicans don't read. So I just had this thing like, how are I buy these things? What am I doing? And that the fact that people have been buying and they recommend my stuff and say, oh, you find that people are really, really supportive in the bookish community in Jamaica. It's one of the best communities to be a part of, honestly. Everybody is so supportive, so nice. And it's just, it surprised me that it's just been such a great space so far, and that people are buying my things. Like, I have something to do every week. I was surprised that I could actually ship internationally. It was just by chance. A girl from Trinidad said, hey, do you send to Trinidad? I said, I don't see why I couldn't. Let's try it. So it was just by accident that I realized, hey, I could use my postal service. And it's been working pretty well so far. The not being able to track, like Miriam said, can be a bit But now that I've been able to work out time, and they've actually been pretty consistent with the shipping times. And people have actually been very understanding of, especially with COVID, with the delays. Everybody's like, yeah, it's fine. It'll get here when it gets here. And great.
Yeah, I think a lot of the bookish community, like internationally, are very supportive of like all the people in it, like a lot of the authors, and all the shops and everything. I think that I am very happy myself to be a part of the bookish community because I feel like you've always got like someone at your back.
Yeah.
It's just been fantastic. And Kimara?
Biggest surprise for me was scaling. So when I started Decentered Lit, I started it for Jamaica and the Caribbean. And I started to get questions from North America, from Canada, from the UK. And I realized that by not expanding, it was counterintuitive to what I wanted to do. So yes, I want to boost BIPOC voices, but am I only going to boost it in some countries, or am I going to expand? And also being a developing country, I have to import a lot of things. Because like the boxes, I have to import the boxes. For Jamaican orders, they have a very high minimum order size, whereas internationally it's lower. So it's just like small logistical details that have surprised me the most. When it comes to tracking, I learned back in my days from Bookler that I never let anything go without tracking. So even if it's just for my peace of mind, and if the customer requested, I am tracking every single thing I leave at the post office. It's just...
That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I work for a company and we ship a lot of things as well, so I understand the tracking issues and like the scary bits in there. But yeah, it's always great when people get their things and how happy they are with them. See that. And so, a question from Paula: what other stores or creators do you admire?
Well, I recommended most of the ladies here, so they know that I love it. But, do you know what? I found the women are doing really well in small businesses, especially bookish and how many male small businesses, but generally women are doing amazing. They're literally juggling everything and doing small businesses. And to be fair, most of them don't complain. They probably have really hard days. But they carry on. I mean, last year I was quite unwell, but the shop was my saving place. It was so fun, and I always had someone I could speak to. So if I wasn't feeling great or I had any questions, I've always found ways. Like if I want to start a website, I can speak to Lydia, who's just started one on Midnight Flame Candles. I just pop her a message and say, "How did you do this? Could you help me?" Or even these girls I've spoken to many a time. So even if it's just about normal things, I just popping a message, "How are you doing? How's the baby?" with Abby. Yeah, I think that's been the greatest thing. Women are really cool. There's so many. If I start going through them, I know I'll forget someone, and then they might get upset. So
Yeah.
Fair enough. Abby, do you have any shops that you admire?
Yeah, I mean, I think, the same. To being part of the bookish community is that a lot of them are run by women, and that's amazing. I think that it's something that's quite overlooked in the general business world is that, there's got to be a high proportion of small businesses that are run by women. But everyone's just so friendly. You can reach out to anybody. I speak to Bookish Burns quite a lot. But anyone that you reach out and speak to will be happy to chat to you or to help you or just, really interested, egg you on, and everyone's so supportive of each other. It's amazing. What I might do, because again, like Mariam said, I don't want to forget people and then think, I'll get angry messages like, I can't believe you forgot about me. I might share something on my stories later with like some shop, like small businesses that I interact with quite a lot. Where do I buy from them, talk to them, and that sort of thing. So yeah, come back to me later. Let me think on that one some more.
That's amazing. Okay, guys, so definitely go to Paper and World on Instagram and check them out a little bit later today, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Now you have to do it.
Yeah, sorry. I called you out
I
there.
know.
No.
Oh no, I'm going to write it down right now.
Allison, do you have any shops that you admire?
Well, I love all the shops that I'm here with. I have had my eyes on the platform 9 3/4 necklace that Miriam has in her shop. The minute it's open
I bought
to
it.
this trip to Jamaica, I
She did buy
read.
it. She did buy it.
There's quite a few, but I will admit, most of the ones that I have learned about, I've actually learned about through Kimara with the Decentered Lip Box, like Girls Guild papers, bookmarks that were in the last box. I love her collages. I love her embroidery work that she's been working on. I love her creative process. It's hard to name because there's so many. Because I just follow so many people now. Because my feed just looks gorgeous with all the. I just love seeing people being creative and putting their creativity out there. It's just so much fun to see, and it's true. I never really paid attention, but I think they are all women. There's like one cartoonist who's a man.
We rule the world.
We do.
Kamara, do you have any specific shops that you admire?
So the funny thing is, before I even started Decentered Lit properly, there was a book I wanted to curate for, and it was called The Deep by River Solomon. And it's about mermaids. So I actually ordered some mermaid earrings from Miriam, not
yes,
telling
you
her
did.
why I wanted them.
Yeah, she didn't tell me.
Whatever.
why.
So I think. So I ordered some earrings from her. I ordered some of the gorgeous bookmarks from Glendale. That was the first time I actually saw Black mermaids with afros, and I adored that. I love Allison. Thank you so much for my book sleeve. I love Rio from Literary Emporium. He's just
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, their stuff.
everything about that store, just like the layout, the items in the store, it's just so gorgeous. For Decentered Lit, I hope, guys, if you're watching, if there are any trans or non-binary folks who run small businesses, please message me. I definitely want to work with you.
Ooh, and
Definitely
EJ
do.
Walrus. I forgot to mention EJ Walrus. She has the cutest stickers with like, she's got this black nerd with big glasses, and she always has her hair in different styles, and she has mermaid stuff as well. It's very cute. EJ Walrus. If you just want to smile, her stuff is really cute too.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, with the Literary Emporium, like I went to our Market Square last night, and I might have like looked at our discount codes and might have like gone to Literary Emporium and might have
You're expecting
emptied my bank account. But yeah, everyone watching, definitely go to our Market Square. A lot of these wonderful shops that we have partnered with are on there, and all of these lovely ladies are there with some discount codes and some amazing stuff. Definitely get out. Decentered Lit on Instagram, Decentered Lit JA, right? Instagram, yes. So if you guys are shops and you want to go and work with Decentered Lit, definitely send her a message there. I think that's the best way to contact you.
Well, it's me on all platforms. So if you email me, it's me. If you do a DM, it's me. If you send a message through our website, it's me. So we have
fantastic. Amazing. So for the last question, I wanted to ask you guys, do you have any advice for archers right now if they want to start their business? Yeah, basically.
I'd say whatever you do, make sure it's something you love. I always find some people start businesses based on money, and it is really important. It is, but if it's something you love, I feel like you can just do many amazing things, where it's things you never thought you could do. I just started off making Game of Thrones bookmarks, and now I make all sorts of things that I had to learn on the way, which is the funnest part of it. And what else? Think about goals. It doesn't have to be that you have to make them, but some targets or things that you want to achieve with it, and have fun. I think if you put too many restrictions or like things that you need to reach, sometimes it can feel like a business and work rather than something nice. But yeah, just enjoy what you're doing, whatever you decide to do. And another thing that I think is, there are so many jewelry shops, but that didn't stop me starting my one. So if it's one of the shops that we have and you think you can do something similar, you should do it. No matter, enough room, all of us. It really is.
Abby?
I definitely can do think you look. I think absolutely thing they don't have for one make, you're not going to be able to give it your all. It takes a lot to run a business, and you have to love that, because otherwise you're filling your time with something else that feels like work, and it doesn't feel like work when you love it. So I definitely say that's really, really important. And otherwise, just do it. I think so many people spend a lot of time planning and thinking and worrying about whether it will work or not, and just do it. You know, if it doesn't work, you can change, you can adapt, you can rebrand, you can anything else to make it work if you want to. But just starting and getting your product or your thing out there is just so important. You know, you can think about it all day, every day, but if you don't actually go for it and put it out there, it might just stay a dream forever.
That's amazing. Alison?
I would say, like I said, this is a very supportive community. So on the days that you are going to feel overwhelmed, just reach out and talk to people and just get advice on how to run it, and make sure you take that time to just focus yourself. It's gonna get stressful, you're gonna feel anxiety sometimes, but just make sure that you take that time to breathe, to do something for yourself that's fun, and then go back into the work.
That's good. Kamara?
I definitely echo doing something that you love. I talked about this earlier this week, that if I didn't love Decentered Lit, based on all the logistical challenges, I would just given up. Like, you want to do something that when you're doing it, it doesn't feel like work, but it also feels like you're making an impact. I think that is what Decentered Lit has allowed me to do. So even though I have to manage all of these things, I enjoy doing it because I'm doing it for the authors, I'm doing it for my subscribers, and it's your books. Who doesn't enjoy sharing books? Just do something you love.
Well, thank you guys all for the amazing interview, and also the amazing advice, because I think that a lot of these shops that want to start and haven't dared will find this very useful, and definitely it's an amazing community. And so thank you all for sharing a bit of your work, of your life, a bit of your time for this day. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the interview as well for Glitter Glue and You.
This is fun.
Bit of difference from the everyday life. And then for all you guys out there, I hope you've enjoyed it. For now, this is goodbye from us. In a little bit, you'll have a film or a little bit of video where I myself have a campfire recipe where you can see how I make cinnamon roll-ups. Later on, you'll also see it. Yeah, they were very yummy. You'll also see a video of for Craft Wars where Kim Kurlika is going to be making watercolor bookmarks. And at 1:30, you're going to be seeing New Horizons panel with Joanne McGregor, Fiona Sniker, Bonla Senna, and it's hosted by our tech witch, Danny. For now, this is goodbye from all of us. Go to our marketplace, go visit these ladies, and have fun with the rest of Camp YA. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye.